All right, Schlockmeister fans, from the wonderful minds of private screenings, it's Patricia. Let's watch. We meet Harry.
That's all part of the fun. Then why do you want to give up now? You see, the more car races and medals I seem to win, and the more I make, the more money I seem to owe.
And then we meet Patricia Cook, star of our film.
Now we're going to meet the winner of the celebrity tournament, Miss Patricia Cook, daughter of the president of the Cook Steel Corporation. Wear and do everything, and every night you're seen at fashionable discos and exciting parties. So what's the secret of your great physical stamina?
What kind of bullshit is that? I'm not a party girl at all. I'm just someone who likes a good time, and I keep in shape by making love.
Well, that was beautiful.
She's a free spirit, and this is her dad, who owns Cook Steel, big business.
I suppose you really want to know who I'm sleeping with tonight, right?
My daughter. When I hear her talking this way, I begin to regret the day that I decided to have any children. And how would you handle your daughter?
Sir James, I
have to turn on the television set. By the way, Dad, if you're watching, this is the guy I'm sleeping with. Come over here, darling. Come here.
Hello, Jack.
This is my tennis coach. His name is Jack Hillary. He's my bed partner at the moment, and he's a super stud.
He's not happy with Patricia.
I've made inquiries. A playboy. A man with no scruples. A man who'll sleep in any bed that's made for him.
But he's a genius, Papa.
A genius at getting in your pants in order to get a little closer to my money. The Cooks are a dynasty, and the head of the house decides who his daughter's husband will be.
When I was born, you were in your late 30s. And you had me simply to prove you were still able to screw. Mommy told me. And the first thing you did was look between my legs to see whether I had a penis.
He offers that race car driver, Harry, a deal.
My daughter has chosen someone I don't approve of at all. If you succeed in this venture, you'll be made for life. How you manage to win her affections, I leave entirely up to you.
He wants him to marry his daughter.
Catch.
Right after the guy leaves, he has an apparent heart attack.
Call my daughter at once.
And the next thing you know, we're at a funeral for him, where Harry meets
I'm Harry Miller. I'm a friend of Oliver's and your father.
Patricia.
Could I talk to you for a moment?
I'm not sure.
And the family argues over the inheritance.
All the money.
I inherit a third, and Faye inherits a third as well, and the other third goes to employees, no relatives.
But how could he treat us like this?
Because you didn't pay enough attention to him.
He gets another offer to kill Patricia.
You can earn it by murdering Patricia Cook. Only it mustn't look like murder. It must look like an accident. The will says in case she's murdered, all the money reverts to a company trust fund or automatically to the government.
Patricia is sought after because she's basically inherited things.
Have you gone completely crazy?
My darling cousin, all I want is to go along as Harry's co-driver, you see?
The directors must have your power of attorney right away, or you might lose some property.
Listen, Major.
This is that
Jack
coach.
Hillary, listen to me a minute. On the day he died, my father gave me a talking to. I'd get disinherited if I got married. I had no such intention. I don't feel like getting married, but especially not to you.
For reasons I couldn't quite fathom, Patricia ends up in a disguise in a Catholic church or something.
Careful!
And she loses some of her dress. And hijinks ensues.
Because I thought I'd be inheriting some of his money. Then that miserable son of a bitch goes and drops dead without even leaving me a penny.
That's enough talking to that rotten bastard. I'll get the money somewhere else.
I can't show you much of the frolicking in this scene. Now she gets involved with some relatives who want to film a movie on the estate.
However, you can help me out now. It won't give you too much trouble. We're winding up here soon, but the last sequence we'd like to shoot in your father's castle. How about it?
Patricia!
It's some sort of Hercules thing that they even offer her like a starring role in it. Really plays no part of the movie, but whatever.
Scene 33.
For no reason whatsoever, we get a dance sequence. And then Patricia almost drowns in the ocean.
I hope it's not too cold. Oh, what's wrong with her? Come on, hurry.
And what's the prize?
A tennis match they're talking about.
The restoration of my honor.
But honor doesn't count for much now. Why don't we say the winner gets me?
We never see that match, but we do see them arrive at some mansion somewhere.
Hey there, Lucifer. Greetings to you, Holy One. Hey, hi, Lucifer. How about some champagne? We're dying of thirst.
What do you want? Let go! Let go of me!
I'm not sure if this is hijinks or drama from Patricia.
What's got into you? What are you scared of, Patricia? Patricia!
Remember, he still has an offer to kill Patricia.
Don't forget, it has to look like an accident. Don't think it over much longer. There isn't much time left.
Hello?
I'm sure of one thing, though. The man I saw really looked like Papa.
Yeah, that's
Really
because her
beginning
father
to feel sorry for Patricia.
is still alive.
This is tough on her.
Only letting everyone think you were dead really saved your
You
life.
think so?
You might.
You want me with all my vices?
With all your vices.
Got plenty of them.
It's dark, but I think Patricia's falling in love.
Decide whether I ought to sell Cook Steel. I'd like to transfer the principal part to a foundation, the James Cook Foundation. The idea occurred to me last night. I think it would have been the wishes of Papa.
You've no right to dispose of those shares.
Allowed Sir James
And the
Cook to
reveal,
die.
he's alive.
To begin a new sort of life for myself that was free of the tensions and eternal problems and responsibilities of the company. You understand?
Yeah.
Good.
And then we get some gunplay.
Predated, but after your last one.
The dead cannot make wills.
But Fate will find it in your desk somewhere.
Life is even dangerous beyond the grave.
Cut the shit. Sit down. Commit my last will and testament.
Notice he turned it on so they can all hear him now.
I won't write a single line, and as long as I refuse to write, you won't dare pull the trigger on me, dear stepbrother Sam. You should
Why, is this a joke? But Sir James is dead.
Patricia.
Get your hands up.
More gunplay. We have more gunplay and more gunplay and more gunplay until finally the police show up.
All right, hands up, hands up.
Patricia.
Drop your guns.
What about Harry's offer to kill Patricia?
Papa recorded every phone call. These voices belong to you and Jack. Well, Harry, what do you have to say to that?
And that's what you fell in love with.
I don't think you ought to stay around here any longer.
But I had nothing to do with all that.
But nonetheless, the two of them have fallen in love at this point. And they are going to get together. And remember the deal that the
I'll see
father
you
made with
tonight.
him?
I'll fix everything for the wedding. Until then, Scheherazade will tell me another Arabian Nights story.
Watch yourself, Papa. I don't want to lose you a second time. Goodbye.
All right, shall we talk about Patricia? Let's. This movie stars an actress by the name of Anne Paralod or something like that. Paralod? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I think she's a French actress. She was actually in a couple of mainstream movies. She was in La Femme Nikita. She was also the star of a horror movie, like a vampire movie called Innocent Blood. I think came out around 1992 or so. And she's still actively performing. This was an early role for her. And it's a nudie role for her. This is put up by Private Screenings. It is available on a PAL Blu-ray. However, it's not in English language. So I just burned the DVD-R from the VHS tape I had and made some homemade box art for. That's what the box looks like. You might remember seeing that. I don't know if that's her or not on the cover. But anyway, the movie itself, it's hard to figure this one out. It's 100 minutes long, so it's a little longer than movies like this. It's definitely like a sexy comedy or drama. I'm not sure. But we have a rich guy named James, I think it was James Cook, and his daughter Patricia, played by our star here. And he's owns like a steel business or something like that, and he's very wealthy. Well, he offers this guy named Harry money if he will marry his daughter. And I'm not exactly sure what the reasoning was behind that. He's like a race car driver or something. He's played by a guy named Sasha Henn, who was also in a movie I have called Melody and Love, which I reviewed on my previous channel. I'll re-review that at some point in the future as well. But anyway, Harry is also contacted by some other people who want to kill Patricia. Now, right after this marriage proposal, or after he offers this offer to him to marry his daughter, he's going to have to try to woo the daughter, though. He said, I don't care how you do it, but if you can get her to marry to you, I think he was, I don't know what he was, but anyway, he'd obviously be wealthy. Then he has a heart attack and dies, or we think he dies. It turns out he actually set up the whole thing to pretend he was dying or dead because he was tired of the rat race. And then he watches his family members contest the will and all kinds of other things. And then for the most part in the movie, Patricia's just kind of running around. She sleeps around with people. There's some lesbianism stuff going on. There really wasn't a whole heck of a lot of a plot, to be honest with you. At one point, she offers her body up to be the winner of a tennis match, but the tennis match never happens, I ever saw. They end up at this mansion, and then things got weird in the last half hour of this movie. The first hour of this movie, there wasn't a ton of nudity. There was I shouldn't say that. There was plenty of it in there. But in the last half hour, there was like the last 40 minutes, there was a lot. There was a lot of full frontal nudity, male and female, running around, dancing, and just a lot of weirdness going on at this house. Ultimately, though, we get that all behind us, and then the family's back, and they're talking about the will. Turns out the old man, Mr. Cook, is still alive, and he's listening in on them. He actually has some video, too. And then there's a bunch of gunplay. Everybody's pulling out guns. And ultimately, Patricia turns out to be a good person, so her dad hears this. They didn't have a great relationship prior to this. And she's going to be fabulously wealthy forever. Then it turns out that the father had taped all the phone calls with Harry, and he heard all the offers to kill her, although he never intervened to stop it, but turns out he obviously never did it anyway, didn't kill her anyway. So there's a little discrepancy there. Hey, why didn't you say anything? Blah, blah, blah. So he feels he's out of the picture now. But at the last scene in the movie, Patricia goes to him, and turns out they're going to get married, and the father's there because he actually did woo her, and now they're going to get married, so live happily ever after and rich, I guess. I don't know. Just an odd film. I don't even know what to think of this, really. It doesn't quite fall into the sex comedy thing, but it's not really a thriller or drama. I don't know what the hell this movie is, but there is plenty of nudity if that's what you're looking for, and that's what Private Screenings was definitely known for. Our star here, Anne Parolot or whatever, she had several full frontal nude scenes, and she was, I think, 21 at the time, so this was, like I said, an early role for her, but that's about it. I don't know. Anyway, I will leave a link to the PAL Blu-ray if Amazon has it on there. Otherwise, I'll put the VHS tape for you. That's how you can get the English soundtrack. So anyway, curious if anybody else has seen this relic besides me. I don't think this ever played on cable back in the day. It certainly could have. It's that type of film, but don't think it did. So anyway, check it out. Let me know if anybody has seen this thing besides me. It's Patricia. Watch it. Bye.